betrayed y'all. All right, we're going to try this one more time. Hey. Welcome back to the Stir It Up Show, hosted by me, LaTanya Taylor. And as you guys can see, we've had the opportunity to bring some of our teens and some of our guests onto the stage. So before we get started, I know we cut off at the point of we wanted to hear from our teens, but I want to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. So everybody that's now joined us, if you can introduce yourselves, I would appreciate it.
I'm Brianna.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tashana Braxton with the Richmond City Health District.
Welcome.
I'm Chancellor Brown.
I'm Shanae Harmon with the State Virginia Department of Health.
Well, thank you all, ladies and gents. So we got one gent up here, so hopefully you can handle yourself up here today. But thank you guys. I truly appreciate all of you being here today. As you guys know, this is a very sensitive topic, very sensitive discussion. So I'm gonna be very respectful of everyone. So, you know, by all means, let's all make sure that we respect each other. But before we went to break, you know, one of the things that we were just having a conversation about, we really want to hear from our teens. And Stephanie, you happen to have the mic in your hand. And, you know, I got a chance to spend a lot of time with you all as teens and as kids because of the fact it just seems like even when I was in Charlotte, my house was always the house that I had a bunch of teens always around. My daughter, for some reason, attracts kids, and I can never get rid of them. So nothing has changed in my journey here. I think you hear me say that all the time. I got a house full of kids. What I'm going to do with them? So, you know, Stephanie, you know, I've gotten to know you and spent time with you guys, and Tiara just talks about you all the time. I want to open up. You're pregnant, and that's the reality. And, you know, I worry about you. And today I want you to be honest and have some conversations about it. I mean, I think parents, and I met your mom, but I think parents are sometimes in denial about the reality that our teens are having sex, or some of them are. And the reality is, if they're not protecting themselves, whether it's using condoms or whether the teens are not on birth control, your kids could get pregnant. So talk to us a little bit about your experience, if you're comfortable with that.
Well, my experience was hard, but it wasn't as hard as I thought. I mean, as long as you got your mama with you, behind you, and the father of your child behind you, and like, I feel as if I fell in love with somebody that I can be comfortable with, and somebody that pushed me and guide me to do better in life, then I think I can last with that person for a long time. And as far as having a child by him, it's fine with me.
So you're with your mate,
Mm-hmm.
the person that you're pregnant by. How far along are you?
5 months.
Okay. How did your mom handle that? How was that conversation?
My first reaction was me getting rid of it.
That was your first thought?
Because of me wanting to go to college and all that. But she was like, she had my back. Like, if I go to college, she'll be there to watch her when I go to college and stuff. But she don't believe in abortions. So she didn't want that at all. And it's just, it motivate me, basically. When you have a child, it make you want to do other things. It makes you want to be something in life for your child, so that way when they grow up, they can be something.
So the reality is we need to accept that our teens are having sex. That's a reality.
You can think they not, but they is.
I definitely, to that point, I mean, the reality of it, when you think about, if you go back and think about when we started having sex, I know I started having sex early, so to think that my child or my stepkids wouldn't is not being realistic. Do I want them to make the same mistakes that I made? No. I want to keep them from making every single mistake that I feel that I made, but it's impossible. And you do want to embrace them and let them know. Me personally, I would rather them talk to me, let me know what's going on, so I can guide them, I can lead them, because it's not, you can't prevent it. And I think that's when a lot of parents face obstacles, when you try to prevent these things that are going to happen at some point or another. And that's just being realistic about the situation, because I'm an only child. I made all A's and B's. My mom was extremely strict. I never went to a club until after I graduated from high school. But I still snuck and I still did these things. And I knew that's not what she wanted me to do. she wanted me to be. My mom was a person who didn't have sex until she was 19 years old or 20. I forgot what she said. But at any rate, she wanted me to follow those footsteps. I went in a different direction. And it's not because, I guess you could say I'm fast, like I said about some of the girls. Yeah, I was fast. And I just wouldn't want my kids to make those same mistakes. So to her point, I understand where she's coming from. Do I condone it? No.
Well,
because I'm 32 and I still don't have kids.
Well, let me ask you this, Shanae or Miss Braxton, right? You know, is this typical? Is this what you guys see on a day in and day out basis? Are we seeing more teenagers that are pregnant? I mean, if you think about where you guys were at their age, I guess for me, I still struggle with this. I mean, my daughter will be very honest with you. I still struggle with this. What are your thoughts? Is this typical?
I do hear, I work in the school systems, and I do hear a whole lot, you know, teens think that it's not that hard, you know.
Not that hard to be pregnant?
Not that hard to, you know, raise a child.
Raise a child.
And
wow.
It is, you know, it is quite difficult. As teenagers, you know, they're not even responsible for themselves, you know, so we teach them to, you know, we teach abstinence and we hope that they would stick to that. But like you say, the reality is that most teens are having sex. But if you're going to have sex, at least wait until you're self-sufficient. You know, you're able to take care of your own self, because it'll be easier for your child. You know, if you want to give your child a best start, give your child 2 parents that's in a seriously committed relationship. And that's why you hear a lot of times, you know, when they're married, you know, wait until you're married, because you know those 2 people are committed, you know, and they're in that relationship and they're going to give the best to both, you know, to the child. And somebody hit on something that I wanted to talk about when we were talking about, I don't know, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. We'll come back to you. Shanae, what was your thoughts? What were you going to say?
Well, I just wanted to say that teen pregnancy is nothing new, and everybody acts as though teen pregnancy or having a baby is the worst case scenario for young people, and it's not. Before a baby comes out, you can contract an STD, you can have HIV/AIDS, and from a state perspective, that's what we're worried about now. So when we talk about teen pregnancy and teen pregnancy prevention, it's not to avoid or to talk to kids about avoiding having sex. It's about really protecting yourself, because the worst case scenario is not nursing a baby to be growing up to adult. It's about nursing that teenager to death, possibly.
Yeah. All right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and I want to come right back to you guys. You guys heard what Ms. Braxton said. You know, her typical thoughts is you should have a man and a woman together, hopefully married, and your upbringing, and you're bringing a child into this world. And she also hit on the point that you guys are still being raised yourselves. So how are you going to raise a child? You know, and Shanae talked on the point that it's beyond just getting pregnant. You know, we could deal with that. But what about when you start to contract things that you can't get rid of and things that we can't control? You know, what does that really mean? So I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on that? I want to hear from you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back with the Stir It Up Show. Thank you.